Of course, as women, every day we face challenge, every day we have problem to solve. But having a framework for solving problem will enable us get results faster, and direction is more important than speed. And most people don't think these days, and they take a lot of decisions based on emotion, not based on data, not based on logic. First, I'll start with Pareto principle. We actually call it 80-20 principle, or it's also called 80-20 principle. Of course, I have a very clear and concise definition of Pareto principle. Is that the world always shakes down to top 20 superstar, middle 60 forgettables, and bottom 20 sandbags. What Pareto principle means is that 20% of results of effort produce 80% of the results. 20% of clients produce 80% of the income. 20% of staff deliver 80% of the results. 20% of the road only has hold up, and in that hold up, the cars that is causing hold up is actually owned by 20% of the population. Even on the phone you are currently using to watch this video, if you are watching on your device, most people have a lot of apps on their phone. They only use less than 20% of the app, which means the remaining 80% is not being optimally utilized. Same thing applies to your shoe. 20% of shoe is always we always wear 20% of our shoe, 20% of our clothes, while the remaining 80% are actually used, left unused. In fact, even in companies. So the same thing applies to problem. If you are a business person, if you look at most of your problems, it's actually caused by 20% of issues. Even in marriage, most divorces are actually caused by 20% of issues. The remaining 80% does not actually matters most. That when we have big problem, we need to dig deeper and look at what are the things that actually cause that problem, and look at one thing in that problem that we can fix. That once you fix it, you fix a lot of other things. When you have a lot of problem, don't be overwhelmed. It's normal to have a lot of problem. Try to list down all the problem and look at which one will you solve that automatically has a very great impact on others, so that you don't major on the minor. So that you don't do what? You don't major on the minor. That's what we call a 5 why. We call it root cause analysis. When there is a problem, we call it root cause analysis. Ask why. When there is a problem, they don't go deep. Only have ask why. They don't go deep to know what exactly is the main root cause of that problem. For example, let me give you an example. So what is late to work? Okay, I've already talked about the aspect of being late to work. Okay, let me use an example of being productive. If, for example, you figure out that every time in the morning you wake up late, and even when you wake up late, you feel dizzy. Why do you feel dizzy? Because you did not sleep early, or you didn't have a sound sleep. Why do you have a sound sleep? Because you ate late in the night. Why did you eat late in the night? Because the food was not ready on time. Why was the food not ready on time? Perhaps you didn't start preparing the food on time. How do you solve this problem? Make sure that there is a standing rule that you always make sure that food is ready before 6 o'clock. So at latest 6 o'clock, you have already taken your dinner. So once you're able to achieve that, automatically you're able to sleep early, wake up early, and be productive in the morning. And that can solve a lot of problems. The other thing is, for some of us that are business owners, we complain that we have clients that does not pay money. The problem is not that your client is not paying money. The root cause is perhaps you are attracting clients that are poor, or you are not packaging yourself very well. That is why you are attracting clients that doesn't want to pay, or that is looking for free. So it's always good to do a root cause analysis. Like, for example, I'm in the military base now. I'm in Air Force Base Port Harcourt. If you look at the notorious armed robbers in Nigeria, among the top 10, among the top 7 among them, they actually grew up in the barrack. Why? Because when you are living in the barrack, you always see guns. For those of them that grew up in the police barrack, they will come back home, and they will see their dad coming back from office, and he's bringing out money from their pocket. And the money is bringing out from his pocket actually squeeze 15 naira, squeeze 100 naira. From there, the children will automatically learn that extorting people is okay. They will not be afraid of gun again. So the root cause analysis, because the person was brought up in an environment where he sees gun every day, so he's not afraid of gun. Then secondly, he sees that his parents will give him money to buy something in the school. Pay when he want to give him maybe 1,000, he has to count like 100 naira, 50 naira that is already squeezed and give him, seeing that okay, it's okay to be collecting bribe. So that is the root cause analysis. So how do you do that if you don't want your children to have such type of problem in the future? You'll be very intentional in where your children grow up. You'll be what? Very intentional in where your children grow up. Not necessarily mean that because you don't want your children to be armed robber. I'm not saying so, but you'll be very intentional in where your children grow up. That is why for we that we are consultants, when we are doing an interview, we focus more on where the potential staff did this secondary school, because where we did our secondary school has an important role to play in our life. Where we did our secondary school has a very important role to play in our life. So root cause analysis is very good. So maybe for example, if you're always having issue with your partner or with your boss, what about taking your time to write down what caused the issue, then dig down to what caused that issue that caused the issue. By the time you ask why, second time, third time, fourth time, and fifth time, you're able to get to the root of the problem. And once you solve the root of the problem, every other thing is sorted. So let's always, when we want to solve problem, we look at leverage on Pareto principle, also leverage on this 5Y model of root cause analysis. So you can also combine the two together. Maybe you have very big complex problem and you dig deeper into using 5Y, and you're able to come up with 2 or 3 issues that is the root cause. Then you can now use the Pareto principle to look at which of these 2 issues that is the root cause has highest impact. Then you leverage on that. I believe with this you can be able to get more result out of our life, more result out of our business, leveraging on framework that has been tested and trusted.